Dragon's Dogma 2 will be one of the biggest releases of 2024. This open world RPG is set to release next month and is rumoured to be one of Capcom's best works, even rivaling the releases of Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring and The Witcher. There has been a ton of exciting news about this game recently and I can't wait to dive into it. In this video I'm going to go over the top 10 things I'm excited for in Dragon's Dogma 2, including some exciting gameplay features and new reveals that you may have missed, so let's get started. One of the biggest aspects of this game that I'm looking forward to is the exploration. The massive open world of Dragon's Dogma 2 is set to be incredibly immersive and really enjoyable to explore. The map itself is huge and is reportedly 4 times larger than the original one. But the great thing here is that even though the map will be really big, it will not suffer from being empty. Yes, I'm looking at you, Starfield. There will be a ton of points of interest, animals and random encounters to experience. The game's director has said that, "I don't want to go too far and make people think I'm exaggerating, but we've placed items on the map and figured out ways to guide the player's eye so that there aren't any moments where they feel bored." This is really fantastic news. What makes an open world game enjoyable is having lots of fun experiences when adventuring off the beaten path, so it's great to see Dragon's Dogma 2 taking this on board. This game will also feature minimal markers on NPCs and the map, so you will have to seek out opportunities yourself. This is similar to games like Elden Ring and adds to a more immersive and rewarding experience when we explore. Now, there are 2 nations in the game that the map cover, Vermund and Batal. Vermund is the human kingdom and is actually going through a power struggle as factions jostle for the throne. The other nation is Batal, a rugged canyon nation home to the Beastren who are led by the priestess Nadinia. These are a new race, but more on them later in the video. It's reported that we as players will be caught between these nations and their cultures during the course of the game. I can't wait to adventure through this huge map with my party, experiencing these 2 different nations and the detailed points of interest along the way. Now, one super interesting feature in this game is the approach to fast travel, which is very limited. As mentioned earlier, this is a big game and so travelling is a big part of it. The game's director and his team want to encourage us to explore as much as possible, and so there will not be unrestricted fast travel in Dragon's Dogma 2. This is quite different to many other open world games. However, there will still be ways for us to travel long distances. Players can use their ferry stones, which are hard to find and valuable items, to fast travel between discovered port crystals. Another way we can travel is to take an ox cart across the medieval inspired landscape. This is relatively cheap, but you can't choose exactly where you go. They take specific routes and so they may only get you part way to your destination. Overall, I kind of like this approach to fast travel as it will force us to take in the world around us. It makes a lot of sense from the developer's point of view as well, as they want us to stumble into the monsters and events that they have taken the time to create. Moving away from the map, one feature I'm super excited for in this game is the NPCs. These have been developed significantly from the first game with some great changes. IGN have reported that the game will feature a ridiculous number of NPCs and that they give side quests to and build relationship with your Arisen, which is the main character. They've also stated that similar to the original game, NPCs can grow to like or dislike you depending on your actions. What's new, however, is the added layer of NPCs liking or disliking you based on your behaviour toward other NPCs in their orbit. An example of this would be if we do something nice for a child in the game, then their parents would like us more. The game's director also said that NPCs can get into fights with each other if another NPC's relationship with the player threatens theirs. I think these features show great attention to detail and a real focus on building detailed NPCs that we can bond with. This is so important, especially for an open world RPG, as the quality of NPCs can really make or break the player's experience. As long as the NPC models are all unique and the duplicates are kept to a minimum, then it should be a fantastic experience. Now, there will be a ton of monsters to fight in Dragon's Dogma 2, but here are a couple that I'm especially looking forward to. First up is Talos, the bronze giant, which the developers describe as the following. Rising from the sea, its massive frame can walk over valleys with ease. Just like divine punishment, it mercilessly brings chaos to the land. We also have the Drake, which is from the dragon family and is one of the harder monsters to defeat in the game. There are many others too, from your typical goblins and wolves to ogres and golems. One thing is for sure though, there's a ton of variety in the enemy types that we'll face in Dragon's Dogma 2. Another feature that's been improved on from the first game but is also pretty unique is the pawn system. Pawns are the AI controlled companions in Dragon's Dogma 2 that are members of your party. These are designed to make the adventures feel shared. Players can have up to 3 pawns in total, but what's really unique is that players will create one of these pawns, but the other 2 will be pawns that are created by other players and put into your game. What's cool is that these will come with all of their experiences and gear that you may not have found yet, and so they could be really useful. What's new with pawns is that in Dragon's Dogma 2, pawns can have a specialisation or special ability. These can help the player as they explore. For example, one of your pawns may have the ability to speak Elvish. These will then translate for you if you come across an NPC that is speaking in Elvish. Overall, pawns are much more intelligent in this game and will often guide the player to a quest or hint at an area of interest. I'm personally super excited to see what other abilities these pawns can specialise in, and I'm glad that they've been designed in a way to really help us out when exploring. An important part of any fantasy RPG is, of course, classes. There are 9 different classes for your character in Dragon's Dogma 2 and they all look very unique, so let's take a look. There will be 4 basic vocations at the start of the game for you to choose from. The first is Thief. These are a fighter class that thrive at close range. Next up is the Mage, which is really good at range and can cast different spells including healing and attack spells. There's also the Archer class and the Fighter classes, which are pretty self-explanatory. Now as you progress through the game, more advanced classes will open up to the player. These include the Warrior, who differs from the Fighter in that they specialise in two-handed weapons. There is also the Sorcerer, who is kind of like the Warrior but for magic, specialising in casting from the two-handed staff. There's the Trickster vocation, which will allow you to create illusions to distract enemies and even trick them to fight in against one another. We also have the Mystic Spearhead and Magic Archer, which combine spells with their weapons to create more balanced classes. Now one thing that is super interesting is that there has been rumours that there are additional vocations in the game. I can totally see this, as I imagine the developers could easily leave a quest or 2 in the game for us to stumble on and find a lesser known class that is yet to be revealed. Overall though, I think there's a solid variety in the game and I can't wait to experience these different classes. What class will you guys choose when you play the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Another feature that I'm super excited for is the tougher survival mechanics. In Dragon's Dogma 2, it will be more difficult to restore and regain health. In the first game and in many other RPGs, we can use simple health restore items such as potions to regain our lost health. In Dragon's Dogma 2, however, every hit will reduce a portion of your max health, and the only way to restore this is by either going to an inn and resting for the night or finding a campfire. The cool thing is that if you choose to set up a camp, you can be attacked by monsters, so you have to choose wisely. I really like this more hardcore aspect of the game as it makes the sense of adventure feel more immersive and gives more risk to the fights. It's also just really cool in general to return to an inn after your day of adventuring, which I'm sure will make us feel like we really are in the fantasy world. Another new addition to the game is the new race, the Beastren. This race is comparable to that of the Khajiit in the Elder Scrolls games. The Beastren are part of the Batal Kingdom, which is ruled by the priestess Nadinia. The character creation is super detailed in this game, and the developers have confirmed that they used over 100 real human face scans to create it. The Beastren will have many different colours of fur to choose from. I'm looking forward to creating a Beastren character but also exploring their kingdom. Unlike the human kingdom who worship our character the Arisen, the Batal Kingdom are indifferent to us and even think of our party's pawns as a sign of misfortune. It will be interesting to see how the dialogue with these NPCs differs to that of the human kingdom. Overall, Dragon's Dogma 2 is looking like a serious contender for one of the best games of 2024. Everything from the world building, character design and combat looks incredibly fun and well designed. I'm particularly looking forward to adventuring across this huge map and seeing all of the different monsters. I think the fast travel design choices are interesting, so I am intrigued to see how this affects the gameplay. What do you guys think of Dragon's Dogma 2 so far, and what feature are you most excited for in this game? Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more RPG gaming news. As always, thank you for watching, see you next time.